cancer lesions like SIN1 and SIN2. And after that, after this HPV integrate into the human genome, then it causes the genetic instability, inactivation of tumor suppressor gene, activation of oncogenes, and HPV E6 and E7 protein expressed that lead to the invasive cancer. So currently, we can have two type of vaccine: prophylactic vaccine, which is generally given at the early stage, like that when you don't mean somebody don't have infection, and therapeutic when you got the infection, but that was not developed for the invasive cancer. Is the slide is visible? I have changed the slide.
No, sir. Slide is that is 14 number slide is presenting.
Yeah, I am on 15 number. Yeah.
Now it is changed. Yes.
Okay, I will. In 2020, WHO launched for the global strategy to eliminate the cervical cancer. So for that, they developed these three types, like that 90% of HPV, 90% coverage for the HPV vaccine for the girls from the age of 19 to 14. 70% coverage for the screening of with the screening of the cervical means the women are at the risk of cervical cancer, and 90% of the women identified with the cervical disease receive treatment for the precancerous lesion or invasive cancer. I have changed the slide. Is it visible? Or again, I have to.
Now it is changed. I think it is taking time to change.
Okay. So, beside cervical cancer, HPV causes other cancer like esophageal, head and neck, anal and penile cancer, and it's also reported like that. This we have already discussed previously, and this is the basically the risk factor for oropharyngeal cancer. The addition of a traditional tobacco and alcohol is a major risk factor for the oropharyngeal cancer. And recently, the cancer of oral cavity or oropharyngeal cavity has been increased, and 70% of oropharyngeal cancer in US are HPV-related squamous cell carcinomas. So we know that it discovered in 1992, but we did not have good vaccine or something like that, therapeutic vaccines or some therapeutic intervention that can eliminate the disease. So what was the difficulty for all those things? That was the major difficulty that HPV can't be propagated in the tissue culture, and it cannot be their animal model like that. Sometimes we know that we prepare disease model, but it is not possible for prepare the disease model for HPV. And specific antigens are not available, and one major thing is no serological test availability. Availability, because HPV generally don't come to the bloodstream until unless it come to the bloodstream in the later stage only. So for detection of HPV, we have to mostly rely on the molecular methods. That's basically the detect the viral genome. Is the slide changed?
No, sir. Now it is changed.
Okay. So molecular detection of HPV. So what are the different methods? So nucleic acid hybridization or nucleic acid amplification. So we hybridize with the signal amplification assays, southern blot, dot blot, in situ hybridization, or P16 IHC. And sometimes majorly we are detecting HPV by PCR. Multiplex PCR basically means we can detect 2-3 type of HPV in one reaction also. And then lab RPN recently we are going to develop the CRISPR based assays are also coming for the detection of HPV DNA. So how this basically HPV. So HPV, if we talking about HPV 16, when we use consensus primer, the amplification of the gene which we are targeting to detect HPV type 16 is of length of around 217 base pair, and when we run on gel, so it seems like that. Where 268. We have run internal control, that is beta globulin, that is of 268 base pair. So this from this we can know that these are the HPV negative samples and these are the HPV positive samples. This is for just for HPV 16. If we are consistently detect HPV, then for that we are using L1 primer that can detect any type of HPV. Where it is this 217 base pair is particularly for the HPV type 16. Same way, real-time PCR we got the different type of peaks, which is depend upon the probes which we are using for particular HPV types. So these are the common methods which are used for the HPV detection and what are their characteristics and applications. So basically all those nucleic acid based detection are used in laboratory method, and they are used for like that for genotyping and detection of RNA molecules like that we are using all these technologies. So after detecting, we come to the HPV vaccination because this is the most reliable things from which uh, we can say that HPV means HPV can be prevented. So basically, we have two type of approaches for the vaccine. One is prophylactic vaccine and therapeutic vaccines. So prophylactic vaccine basically protect from getting infection. So generally they are given before you got before anybody got the infections. But therapeutic vaccines basically given after infection, so that clears the HPV infection. But currently we don't have any therapeutic vaccine. We have only the prophylactic vaccine. So major breakthrough for the development of HPV vaccine comes when one scientist in 1996 got that Papillomavirus. Sorry, the bovine papillomavirus, that is BBV. That's just the another member of family Papillomavirus. It shows the property of self-assembly of the major capsid protein in virus-like the self-assembly into virus-like particles when they express in yeast and vaccinolovirus. So this help in the development of prophylactic vaccines. So basically, this VLP is the non-infectious virus-like particle. That's why we are calling it VLP. But basically, we got L1 protein that polymerized to the pentameric form, L2 protein, and viral genome. All of this, when combined together, they form HPV. But if they don't have L2 protein and viral genome, so that forms the virus-like protein that is mimic to the virus, but that is non-infectious, non-oncogenic virus, and it helps in the production of higher neutralizing antibody than the natural infection. So they just take the HPV, taking this. Is the slide change?
So we are on slide number 25.
Okay.
Now it is changed.
Yeah, so basically, they take HPV, they take their L1 coding region, then make the recombinant DNA, and express in eukaryotic system like yeast and prokaryotic system. Like that, L1 monomer form the L1 pentamer, then it form the pentamer, and these pentamers self-assembled to form like HPV VLP. Basically, this is the virus-like protein. So this is the way how that these currently available vaccines are developed. The expression system, like some using the eukaryotic system and some using the prokaryotic system. Only that is the different from the different. But there are some limitation with these available vaccines, like that their cost of production is high because they are recombinant protein. High cost of production, cold chain storage, but like in India, we don't have cold storage facilities in the remote areas. So that is the major limitations currently these have. Multiple dose required, but no therapeutic values. Still, we need to have uh, we need to know about what HPV and how. So there is some study in my previous institute. They have did this study on around 2,500 people, out of which only 375 are aware about the cervical cancer causing by HPV, and HPV vaccines are available, and but there is a very low number which are willing to have HPV vaccine, and these are the comparative study where we studied urban population and rural population. So in urban population, that means they have some knowledge, but knowledge compare more than the rural one. And these all of means the urban people knows much more about HPV, cervical cancer, their availability of vaccine compared to the rural areas. But there is some parent opinions also for the HPV vaccines. So some of them are want their children's or their girls got HPV vaccination, but most of them are hesitated to get HPV vaccine. So, these are the basic the those are basically the awareness of why means awareness where our society was known about the HPV and their hesitancy to take all those vaccines. But from seminar, we are just knowing that we should encourage our neighbors and all those things about taking the HPV vaccines. So, what different type of HPV vaccines are available, and so what their property here I just discussed this. So first is Gardasil, that was licensed in 2006. That contain the 6, 11, 16, and 18 type of HPV, and this disease covered basically all anogenital cancer, some head and neck cancer, and some papilloma or genital warts. But it is in starting that cost was very high, it's around $110. But recently, Serum Institute of India and along with Department of Biotechnology develop quadrivalent vaccine that contains 611 and 16, 611, 16 and 18 type of HPV. And this is just equivalent to the Gardasil vaccine, but at very lower cost. So, what may be the target population for giving this prophylactic vaccine? So, all the recommendation from the WHO, and they said that it should be the best choice will be the young adolescent, that is basically 19 to 14 years. So, why they should be from 9 means the vaccination should start from 9 to 10. So, because young adolescents mount a superior immune response compared to the older individuals. The young means the early stage, they don't have any type of infection. So, so they did not need any type of screening, because if somebody is around 20 years, if she want to take the vaccine, so she should have first screening for the HPV, whether she have some infection with HPV or not. If somebody have infection with the HPV, they should not take they should not take this any of the HPV vaccine, because that vaccines works only before infection, not after infection. The major major ethical issues in India for adopting HPV vaccine is the acceptance by the parent. Many think it can wait until she get married, but as there are more chances to get infection with the HPV. Cultural and religious moral issues, or sometimes they thinks that if they got vaccine, so they don't they don't think they make sex at early stage of life. So these are the in green. These are the countries which already introduce HPV in their national immunization programs, but lot of the other countries are still not adopting it, and but they are available in the private market and anybody can purchase. What is the mean by national immunization program? If I ask somebody, hello,
Yes.
is I
Anyone,
audible?
please? Yes, sir. You are audible.
I'm saying that HPV vaccine in their national immunization program, but you heard about HPV vaccine in India also. Recently, Indian government also take the initiative for prevention of HPV. So basically, national immunization program is like that. The government is affording all the cost and all those things to give those vaccines. But in India, it is not still means it is not currently in the national immunization program. But maybe in future it will be in the immunization. It will be in national immunization program. So from that, if we summarize all those things, so in 1982, around that HPV was cloned. The slide is changed. It is
Yes, sir.
so. Okay, sorry. It was in 1983 when it was discovered, or it was linked that HPV 16 is responsible for cervical cancer. In 1990, IARC classified HPV 16 and 18 as a carcinogen. In 2006, Gardasil first developed first HPV vaccines. In 2010, Gardasil 9 was approved. In 2020, WHO launched the World Strategy to eliminate cervical cancer, and by US target that in 2030 it got eliminated from. They want to be HPV or cervical cancer to be eliminated from US. Thank you.
Okay. A heartfelt thank you to you, sir, for this wonderful session. We have really learned a lot and gained a lot of knowledge from this session. Like this really means a lot. You have taught us a lot many things. So such valuable insights with us today. Your words truly resonate with us and mean a great deal to everyone here. The session shed light on the powerful role that awareness, science, and prevention play in tackling HPV and related cancers. We'll now open the floor for the questions. So anyone wants to ask any question from sir, please feel free to ask your questions or drop your questions in the chat box, or you can directly ask. Open your mics and let's have question and answer round. Anyone wants to ask any question? You can drop your question in the chat box. We'll take them one by one. Anyone, any question? Okay, sir, I would like to ask one question. Like, sir, what is the current HPV screening recommendation for women in India?
So basically, first is for cervical cancer, it is the cytological based screening.
Okay.
So like that PAP test you can have. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the basically majorly all the government hospitals or some of the other private hospitals using initial screening for the cervical cancer.
Okay. So, sir, how soon can we expect region-specific HPV vaccines to be approved for public use?
So it is not possible to develop region-specific HPV.
Okay.
Because like that you see that when we detecting HPV, that is L1 region, that is 450 base pair, that is common to all type of HPV. Okay, and sometime like that they are using currently 9 type of HPV for that, like 9 non-valent vaccine. That is 9 type of 9 type of HPV in that vaccine. So that can help to generate the immune response. Like that, sometimes that what we can say cross protection also. That can help in the cross protection also. Those vaccines are very much effective, around 98 to 98% they are effective. So nobody's are thinking to get region specific. But that may be like that. As I also work on HPV, so we found that some of the variations are missed in more frequent in Indian population compared to the other. In my opinion, we should have something like that Indian specific vaccines.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So, sir, we have a question from Vedika coming up. So, Vedika, could you please just open your mic and ask your question?
Hello, sir. This is Vedika here. I had a question. Like, I read about oral contraceptions having a weight criteria or any other criteria that clashes with the oral contraception. Do these vaccines have the same restrictions as such?
Actually, these vaccines are recommended for the 19 to 14 or 15 year first. So that time nobody is taking all those contraceptive. But if you are asking about the women who is taking all those contraceptive, so initially when you are getting that vaccine, you should not or anyone should not take an oral contraceptive because they weaken the immune system.
So taking contraception along with vaccine might.
It's not recommended, I think. No, it's not.
Uh, Good evening, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Any question?
Sir, I have a question. Sir,
Yeah, just tell.
are women are more prone to HPV, and what is the maximum age one can get the vaccine? Take this vaccine.
No, you can means sorry for uh, there is no limitation here. There is no specific age to have those vaccines. But as I mentioned already, you should first means anyone who want to take those vaccines should take the screening test for
Okay.
the HPV. They should not have HPV infection before taking those vaccines. So if somebody want to take HPV vaccine, so she should have the HPV test. Okay,
Okay,
and
sir.
these are the recommendations generally when you are going for some hospitals and something. They ask to have first HPV test.
Okay, sir. So that means women are more prone to HPV than men's.
Yeah, because like that for penile cancer, anal cancer, oropharyngeal, they are the risk factor. But in cervical cancer, they are the etiological factor. Basically, around 99% of the cases caused by HPV only.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir, I have one question. So, as women are more prone to HPV related cancers, so among women, is there any genetic polymorphism or any phenotype or genotype that is more risk prone than others?
Basically, it's like not like that. Yeah, means HPV 16 can infect men and women also. But the immune response of the women is not like men. Firstly, secondly, that the majorly that if we say that what I could say like that the major risk factor like that multiple sexual partners like that another is the parity when women give birth to children, they also that time they also weaken their immunity and all those things. So that all those things make them more prone to HPV infection.
Okay.
Any other question?
Is there anyone else who wants to ask any question? You can drop your question in the chat box or ask directly. Anyone, any question? So I think there are no more questions. So Amisha, you can proceed further. Yeah. Okay. So as we are having no more questions, that was such a wonderful session. So thank you once again. So with that, I would like to warmly invite Dr. Veena ma'am to kindly share her thoughts and conclude the session for the day. Ma'am, over to you. Thank you, Amisha. So first of all, I would like to thank you, Anoop sir, for such a wonderful, informative session. And with that, as we are near to conclude our session, so a heartfelt thank you to you, sir, for your time, expertise, and critical work that you continued in participants who joined us today. It is your curiosity, engagement that makes this session meaningful. And let's carry this awareness forward, as knowledge and awareness is the first medicine and this is the best defense. So let's get aware about cancer and its causes and all the tools. We should be encouraged about vaccination, support regular screening, and to never underestimate the power of information in saving lives. With this, we conclude this session, And now I would like to invite Dr. Roma Pandey ma'am to share her views and share some few words with us. Ma'am, are you there?
Hello, yes, I'm there. Actually, I'm outside. So, although I was listening continuously, so thank you, Anoop sir, and thank you, Veena ma'am, for organizing this webinar. And it was thoroughly engaging because last time I remember I gave that on cervical cancer, and I also mentioned that HPV was one of the leading cause, and sir has given more insights on that topic. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with a journey of HPV. Now we know all the story about the HPV, from what are the vaccines available, what is the right age the woman should get vaccinated, and all of these. So thank you again, thank you, Veena ma'am, and thank you, Curevent Foundation, for organizing such events. And we hope to see you all in the next webinars also. So thank you again. Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you all for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. I have shared the link in the chat box, so you all can fill the feedback form. I hope you all really enjoy it. Like, we have gained such a wonderful knowledge from sir. So kindly fill the form, and I've shared in the chat box. And like, you'll receive the certificate as a token of appreciation. So fill the certificate. I've shared the link. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, Ruma ma'am, Veena ma'am, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to conduct the session for today. Really means a lot, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you.
You all can fill the form I've shared.